YouTube family. Yes. Good morning, overcomers. Let's inhale with appreciation and exhale with gratitude. This is a new day. You see, where the Spirit of the Lord is freedom. And we should be glad and thankful. And we also should shout like the weight have been lifted. Shout like the weight. Look, you made more noise watching a football game. Yeah. You did more yelling and screaming in traffic. I know you yelled at that lady, that cashier that didn't give you no ketchup. And you ain't gonna make no noise for the Lord. Shout like the weight have been lifted. I get it though. Sometimes we may feel like the weight has not been lifted. Sometimes our faith is just too tired. I mean, it just feel like it's just too much to bear. We got all these problems and we trust them too. But we don't trust the problem solver. You get the hint. Today's video is about how do we overcome trauma bond. Okay, let me quit. How do we overcome trauma bonding? But what is it though? What is trauma bonding and how do we overcome this? But what is it? It's toxic hope. It's dysfunction. It's the loss of self. Love bombing. It's abuse alternated between hot and cold, a roller coaster. Trauma bonding. Now, how do we overcome this? How do we overcome trauma bonding? Well, on a serious note, let me just say, trauma bonding is a very, very serious issue, and it can have long-lasting effects on our mental health and well-being. You see, as humans, we form attachments as a means of survival. You know, like a baby. You know, they grow attached to the parent or caregiver and they depend on them. While adults form attachments to whom comfort them or support them. Sadly, sometimes who comfort us and support us is also the abuser. And this is where trauma bonding begins. How do we overcome this? How do we overcome trauma bonding? By reprogramming. Yeah. Examine the abuser's patterns. Yeah. This is how you overcome trauma bonding, by examining the abuser's patterns. And it may look something like this. You know, they do something very hurtful, whether it's physical or emotional. And then they come back and say, you know what? I'm sorry. This will never happen again. Don't get caught up into that web. No. This is how you overcome trauma bonding, by examining the patterns. You see, the abuser try to lay this foundation to have you in toxic hope. Now you believe that your suffering is the price paid for kindness. Don't get caught up in the wash, rinse, repeat cycle. This is how you overcome trauma bonding, by not getting caught into the wash, rinse, repeat cycles. Yeah, go to the cleaners. Yeah, just go to the cleaners. Anyway, another way to overcome trauma bonding is remember and confirm to yourself they meant what they did. Yeah, the abuser meant what they did. They all the whole I didn't mean to do that. That is BS. This is how you overcome trauma bonding, by confirming to yourself that they meant what they did. Do not second guess this. Do not make excuses for their behavior. Do not minimize their mistreatment. This is how you overcome trauma bonding. Look, I used to get whoopings as a child. I did. And I didn't always get whoopings because I was being a bad child. Sometimes I got whoopings because my mother had poor communicative skills. And she will do this to enforce dominance and control, which limit our options and violated my fundamental integrity. So, and we'll go shopping afterwards, like nothing happened. But the problem was that I also took that format into my relationships. And I had the tendency to only focus on the good. I would hold on to the good and not look under the rug, or I would sweep the bad under the rug when the bad may have outweighed the good. So this is how you overcome trauma bonding, by letting go of toxic positivity. Yeah. Toxic positivity, letting go of that is how you overcome trauma bonding. You see, you don't want to associate love with abuse. And that's what I was doing. You are looking at an overcomer. This is what overcoming looks like. It looks like you. It looks like her. It looks like him. And it looks like them. Overcoming looks like you. So being in that thought process and having a tendency to associate love with abuse, I will get caught into blaming myself for all the mishaps. But when things will go good, now they want slices of the pie. See, you don't want to get caught into this. It is not your fault of all the problems. Do not blame yourself and to make sense of everything. It is not your responsibility to make them happy. This is how you overcome trauma bonding, by realizing that I am not responsible for their happiness. And don't look for their approval all the time. No. Don't go all out your way for their approval. Don't tie your self-esteem into their approval. This is how you overcome trauma bonding. You see, overcomers just leave. Even though our subconscious only know where we have been, but you deserve better than that. Don't be afraid to explore uncharted territory. See, remember, he shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wing you shall find refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror at night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walks in the darkness, nor the destruction that lies waste at noonday. Overcomers, be completely humbled and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep unity in the spirit through the bond of peace. Protect your peace. Word is bond. High five. Like, subscribe, and share this video.